time now to review news headlines in today's newspapers. And as ever, we begin with this day. The headline reads, anxiety as Boko Haram troops claim responsibility for crashed fighter jet. Terrorists have shown videos of a burning plane, but the Nigerian Air Force claims they deny those claims and admit the crash and say it's still searching for the spot it went down in. You can read more on that on page 5. Of course, we just talked about that with retired Air Vice Chairman. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. And then moving on to the picture headline story, you've got the governors of Kebbi, Jigawa and Katsina State, as well as Babagana Zulu of Borno State at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, awaiting the arrival from the capital of Niger of the country's new president, Mohamed Bazoum, who we were also talking about at the top of this show. To the top of this day, there are, of course, issues to do with oil. The NNPC eyes an $8.7 billion investment from rehabilitation of refineries and pipelines. Mele Kyari says corporations remains destination of choice for global investors. You can also read more on that on page 5. And on that same page 5, you'll be able to read more on the quote from Yang, who says, to end the crisis, Nigerians must be allowed to debate coexistence. Aisha Buhari has assembled 12 billionaires for her book launch. Tinubu himself is to chair this launch, and the book is allegedly titled Aisha Buhari Being Different. Will you be reading that, Adesuwa?
I guess so.
Yes.
I guess so.
I will too.
She's been an outspoken first lady, wife of the president.
Yes.
So what makes her so different?
We'll find out.
We'll find out in the book. Great. So let's look at the Saturday Vanguard this morning. Banditry. It's Hausa Fulani War. Zamfara traces origin of hostilities. And Ebonyi massacre. Attack capable of causing civil war. And that's according to Governor Umahi. Of course, it's the period of Easter. And you have that picture there, the Passion of Christ drama at St. Vincent Catholic Church, in the suburb in Lagos yesterday. Let's not forget it's actually Easter. Well, insecurity. Why Niger is not winning the war, an opinion you can find on page 14. Missing NAF fighter jet found outside Maiduguri. That's on page 26. Marawa insists on drug tests for politicians, students, and workers. Now, that's the boss of the NDLEA, the drug fighting agency in Nigeria. He's been making some strides since assuming office. Testing politicians, students, and workers, very interesting. We'd like to say that. Echoes of old vibes as Mike Okere reunites with fans on stage. And that's the march on the front page of Saturday Vanguard. Pick a copy for more.
Thank you. Well, moving on to The Guardian on Saturday. And the picture headline story is of another picture or a reenactment of Jesus Christ's crucifixion.
Yes.
This, though, is happening at St. Joseph's Catholic Church in Oke-Ado, Ibadan in Oyo State.
Okay.
And they are, of course, also reenacting the Passion of Christ to mark Good Friday, which was yesterday. And so did you observe Good Friday? See, let me tell you my story.
Okay. An interesting story.
So in my family, on Good Friday, we do actually observe. So we're not even Christians, but it's something that we consciously do. We, have fish on the Friday. So me being away from my family this time, I just thought, okay, I'll definitely do Good Friday. Do you know, I woke up and had mince the first thing, and it was actually beef. I was so upset with myself when I realized. So I was looking at that, just made me remember that it's actually quite difficult. But still on The Guardian, there is subscribers are getting reprieve as the federal government extends the deadline on the NIN SIM linkage program by another month. So if you haven't already, please do link it. And soldiers sadly have killed 5 youths in Taraba State.
Well, Saturday Telegraph. Let's begin above the nameplates this morning. The federal government paid 9.2 billion naira for doctors' insurance, and that's according to Minister Ngige. He says, we are surprised that the National Association of Resident Doctors still embarked on strike. Right next to that is the Nigerian Air Force confirming crash of the Alpha jet as 2 pilots are feared dead. Plane wreckage found. Boko Haram claims responsibility. That's dominating the news this morning. And the boldest headline on the front page of the Saturday Telegraph this morning: generals, others disagree on calls for secession. Secession will be devastating, not an option, says General Sura. Leaders must ask if intentions of founding fathers have been achieved. That's another general. Anyalemechi. Perceived injustices to blame for agitators, says Ejiofor. And of course, Dia charges Nigerians to rise against warmongers. Easter celebration, the Inspector General of Police, others, personnel deployment nationwide. And of course, there's also this by senior lawyers, says Buhari's failure to hand over to Oshibajo violates constitution. We are back to that conversation again.
Exactly. Well, moving on to the Saturday Tribune. Yoruba leaders tackle the police over Sunday Boko. Why has the IGP not invited Meyeti Allah and other leaders, says YCE, in regards to the invitation from the IGP to come and see them. Another picture of the Passion of Christ happening in Oyo State there. 30,000 bandits set up 100 camps in the north. Zamfara bandits have 24 routes. 232 leaders. Goodness gracious, says a governor. To the right there, you got a picture of Ebenezer Obey, and he says that he was already a talented musician before he met Fatai Rolling Dollar. Don't know who that is. Okay. Definitely know who Ebenezer Obey is. Fatai Rolling Dollar. I think I'll get a phone call from my parents very quickly after I come off here, educating me on that. It's dangerous to have millions of out-of-school children, says Professor Omolewa, in regards to the closing of schools in certain parts of northern Nigeria in regards to these kidnappings that are happening here. And Nigerians in the UK protest as Buhari is to go back home.
Yeah. Well, the Saturday Sun, fresh fear in Southwest over ranching, attacks by herders in Ebonyi, Ondo. Monarchs, groups tackle Fayemi, Akeredolu, Biafra. Oduduwa Nation, agitators are irritants. That's according to Tanko Yekesai. You can find out more details. Why I shunned the IJ's secret invitation, says Sunday Igboho. Details are in the Saturday Sun, rather. And there's an actress on the front page of the Saturday Sun, and she's telling you things about tall men and good smell.
Hey, she looks like she knows what she's talking about.
I'm sure she does. And of course, finally on the front page of Saturday Sun, we paid 900 million naira to bandits in 8 years, coming from Zamfara governor. So you wonder, are we winning this war, and how are we tackling it?
That's the thing. That's the sad thing. Well, moving on to the Daily Trust on Saturday, very quickly. As wet season sets in, insecurity heightens, and that's farmers' fears happening there. Food shortages loom as prices soar, and we've been chased out of our farms, say farmer.